What's up, y'all? Let's talk about the act of being intimidated. Intimidated is pretty much a fear of, just a fear or a feeling of uneasiness when you're around something or somebody or a place that gives you an uneasy feeling, a discomfort. That's just a definition off the top of my head. You can look it up. But we all know what intimidation means. Most of us do. So I got a question. When women say, and they say it quite frequently, men are intimidated by me. Now let's think about the type of women that says that, which women says it, why they say it, and when they say it. When women say it a lot, you should answer the question that if you get that a lot, at what point do you look in the mirror and see if it's something that you're giving off to make yourself unapproachable? If you hear it a lot, at what point do you say it's time for me to make a change? If that's something you want to do based on the vibes that you're giving off. If a man says he's intimidated, of course, it could be a lack of confidence, but I think men use it in a cliche manner also. When they say, well, I was intimidated by you. Scared brothers say that. Or a lazy thinking brother might say that because it's a cliche thing to say. Both sexes use it a little too loosely. I ain't gonna lie. When I was young, like a little bit of game, I would say I was intimidated a little bit, act like I was a little scary, just thinking it'd help me, get in the door. But with a solid woman, she gonna like this dude a sucker, man. He ain't about his business. So you know what? I got that out my memory banks. I stopped using that. That just wasn't. I had to empty the toolbox, and that was one of the tools I had to get rid of. Using those old cliche sayings like I'm intimidated or you seem intimidating, you just seem like a little much. And once you give a woman that power to make her think that she's out of your league, you're already lost. You're already lost. So I say this to say this because women who think their men are intimidated by them, a lot of times they full of themselves, or they're difficult as fuck, or they just might be out of your league, or usually it's because it's a cliche term that a lot of women say to make an excuse for why men isn't approaching them because it's something about themselves they need to change. You got a lot of asshole chicks, man. I'm being dead ass. I'm talking about you can be um a good woman, a good person, but still be an asshole when it comes to meeting new people. Some people, when they're awkward, socially awkward, they can come off like an asshole without trying to be. You know, a lot of women don't understand when they're being assholes, or when they're being difficult, or when they're being just hard to approach. So let's reanalyze how we just throw out words and phrases. He's intimidated by me, or I'm intimidated by her. We use it too loosely. Too loosely. It's cliche. And both sexes use it to make an excuse for why he's not approaching and for why man's not approaching her. Right? I could be wrong. That's just my perception. That's just my opinion. I speak from experience because I used to say it and I had to get it out my toolbox, like I said. It's weak for a man to say, second conversation, when you actually knock her off, and then she asks you, well, how come you never said nothing to me? How come you just let days go by and then approach me? Well, I was intimidated. Even if you feel that way, brothers, you can't say it. You can't say it because once she plant that seed that you possibly were intimidated, she gonna roll with that. And that just boosts her ego to the point where she feels that she's out of your league. Because most women have a level up mindset. So always somebody better. Or a hypergamous mindset. So always somebody better. So when women use the term, most men say they're intimidated by me, it says more about you than it says about those guys. Because if every guy's saying that, if 80% of the guys saying that, it's a you issue. Because you can't tell me all the guys or 80% of the guys lack confidence or feel that, you're too much to approach. Because I know some of the lamest brothers, the brokest dudes who'll pull up on a chick with no hesitation. They'll pull up with nothing to offer. And they'll pull up on a chick and say, hey, what's good? So anyway, if you hear it a lot, it might say more about you, right? So let's find the true definition of intimidation and stop falling in the trap of using all these cliche terms, because we see it a lot in our community, a lot. I can't speak to other women. I can a little bit, as far as I've dated all kinds of women, but I hear it a lot when it's with us. I hear it all the time. Oh, he's intimidated because we all think we somebody. We all think we the shit. We do. We all think we the shit. And if she's a baddie, even if she's a 7, an 8, in her mind, majority of guys are intimidated by her. She created that in her own mind. That majority of guys that talk to her is intimidated. Because that's a cliche that we let go on and on and on for 10s and 20, 30 years. I've been hearing it most of my life. It's time to be done with it. So ladies, these dudes ain't intimidated by you. They just see something in you that they don't want no parts of. And you need to look in the mirror and try to figure out what that is. And fellas, if you always telling women that you was intimidated, to approach or, intimidated to holler, lacking confidence, but I think a lot of it is just hardwired conditioning for us to use those dated ass terms and dated ass cliches. So that's just my opinion. That's all I got on that. But so let's just get rid of the whole intimidation thing, man. Just shoot your shot. Only 2 things can happen. You can make it or miss it. She can say yes or she can say no. And keep it pushing. All right, that's all I got.